YouTube has made it very simple to reach out to millions of students. SlideShare has done it for slides and Instagram has done it for photos. But what about the audios? Audios are a great way to connect with your students because you do not need to prepare a lot. If you want to create a video, you need to prepare a lot. You need to be ready in order to present yourself in front of the camera. But when it comes to the audio, it's not required. You can record your audio anytime, anywhere with the help of your mobile device itself. Is there a platform that allows us to upload our audios and connect with millions of students? Yes, there is a platform. It's like having our own radio channel. The platform name is Anchor.fm. In this video, I am going to show you how to start your podcast and how to create your episodes in that podcast. After publishing this video, I want to see a lot of teachers having their own podcast because Anchor.fm has made it very easy. Just with the help of your mobile, you will be able to start your own radio channel, or as it is known as nowadays, podcast. In this video, I'll tell you everything about Anchor.fm, and after watching this video, you will be able to create your own podcast. So why wait? Let's start. As you can see here, this is a WordPress website and my podcast is available here. So this is cover page of the podcast and these are the episodes of this podcast. See, this is title, then author name, then this is audio player. So who want to listen to this podcast, they can simply play this.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है.
And this is how they can listen to the podcast. This is the link to this audio. Similarly, this is another episode, then another episode, then another episode. So there are so many episodes. But what is the problem with this podcast? That the audios are uploaded on my website. This means these audios are taking a lot of web disk space on my hosting account. And you know the web hosting is very costly. So similarly, these are the audios and they all are consuming disk space from my hosting account. So this is one problem. Similarly, if you visit this website which was made with Google Sites, if you remember that we have uploaded this audio on Google Drive and from there we are embedding it here. We can also embed it here on this WordPress website, but in that case again a lot of space is being consumed by these audio files. So this is one problem. And the second problem is that my podcast is limited to my website, either WordPress website or Google Sites website. Whenever we make podcast, we want to increase its reach. So for example, if you search for Dr. Yogendra Pal podcast, you will come to all these links. See, Stitcher.com. Let's visit there. Then open Spotify.com. So I believe you all know about Spotify and my podcast is available on Spotify as well. Similarly on Player.fm, Podbean, Anchor FM, RadioPublic, Castbox, MyTuner Radio. So as you can see, my podcast is available at various places. In fact, it is also available on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. So like you can see, Stitcher, it has my podcast. And people can listen to it simply by playing the audio file.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं योगेंद्र पाल आपका स्वागत करता हूं अपने इस पॉडकास्ट.
See, this is how user can listen on Stitcher. Similarly, they can listen on Spotify. I believe you know some of these services. Similarly, my podcast is also available on Player FM, Podbean, Anchor FM, RadioPublic.com and Castbox. So what do you think? Did I uploaded these podcasts on these platforms? No, I did not. In fact, I uploaded these podcasts only on one platform. And I am going to talk about that platform today. And now I believe you understand the problem of uploading podcast on Google Drive or WordPress hosting and then embedding it on your blogs. First, you are consuming a lot of disk space. Second, you are not reachable to a lot of audience. And we don't want that. This is why I will talk about a platform that allow you to publish your websites on various places. And that platform is known as Anchor.fm. So let's do that. From today, I am going to start ET Mantra's e-learning podcast for teachers. When we want to do that, we will go to anchor.fm and create an account there. But before that, I want to show you all the features that anchor.fm has. So let's go to the features and see all the features. The first feature is unlimited free hosting. You have a free hosting and that is unlimited. You don't have to pay any amount in order to host your audios. Second is one-click distribution. What does it mean? As I told you that my podcasts are already available on various platforms including Apple, Google Podcast and Spotify. Similarly, your podcast will be available on various platforms. If you want to see on which platforms your podcast will be distributed, you can click here and here there will be a list. See, on all of these platforms, our website will be available. Then you can also monetize your podcast. That means you can make money from your podcast, but we will talk about it later. Then podcast with friends. You can podcast with your friends together. So right now what I do, because I am not using Anchor app for ET Mantra's e-learning podcast, this is why I call somebody. But with the help of Anchor.fm, you can actually podcast with some of your friends in a live meeting. It also shows you analytics which are not available when you are hosting your audios on your own. This is one of the best features. It allows you to record from anywhere. You will get an app that will be available for iOS and Android mobile devices, and you can record your voice anywhere and then you can directly upload your podcast on Anchor FM. It allows you to build episodes. It's not just like that you are uploading new podcast. It also allows you to create episodes. Like here, as you can see, I am sharing my podcast with episode numbers. Similarly, it allows you to make episodes. It also have editing tools. So right now, when I am on computer or laptop and I don't have Anchor FM, then I record and edit my podcast using Audacity. But if you have Anchor.fm installed on your device, in that case you have access to editing tools also. So you can split audio, you can cut audio, you can add music to your audio, and then you can upload it as a podcast. So it has all the creation tools. And this is one very good feature about this Anchor FM. It transcribes some of the portion of your video and convert into a video. Then you can share that video into various platforms to bring the audience to your podcast. So these are the features. Now let's see how we can start a podcast with the help of Anchor.fm. For that you have to sign up. So I'll sign up. After you sign up, you can log in. After you log in, you will be taken to the dashboard. On this dashboard, because you are a new member, then you will see this screen. So this is the process. First you have to create your first episode, set up a podcast, distribute your podcast, then set up monetization, and finally you can get listeners. So let's do this one by one. So make your first episode. Let's click here. Then it will show you these options: record, messages, library, transitions. So basically, this record will capture your audio from your browser. Your listeners can add voice messages to your episodes. So if you have a voice messages that you have received, you can add it here. But right now, as this account is new, I don't have any message from my listeners. Hopefully you will start sending messages using Anchor FM, and then I'll start putting your messages into my podcast. You can use your previously uploaded audios, but since we do not have any audio, we can't use that also. And this is transitions. So basically free music and sound effect that you can add to your audio. Right now we don't have one. So this is the option to upload or drop audio here. I can actually record an audio, but that will not be very good in quality. But right now I am not worried about it. So let's do a recording right now. So I'll click on record. I have to allow my microphone and I have to select the correct microphone and then click on start recording now. Welcome to ET Mantra's e-learning podcast. This podcast is especially meant for teachers. I am your host, Dr. Yogendra Pal, and I will keep bringing a lot of audios, lot of podcasts for you that will allow you to integrate technology in education. So I believe you will subscribe to this podcast and you will keep visiting our podcast to become a 21st century teacher. Thank you very much. Once I have done, I stop recording and then you can see it is uploading, it's processing, and now it is ready. So now I can click on this play button to play it. Welcome to ET Mantra's e-learning podcast. See? And if you want to add some background music, you can add this to an episode, or you can download your audio file or delete it permanently. So let's add some background music. By clicking here, I can add a background music. When you are here, you can see a lot of categories of background music. You can select one from this. So I'll select calm and let's preview some of these. Yeah, this is looking cool. This one is fine. So I'll select this and then I will preview with my audio by playing here. Welcome to ET Mantra's e-learning podcast. This podcast is especially meant for teachers. I am your host, Dr. Yogendra Pal, and I will keep bringing a lot of audio. Seems fine to me. Now I will click on apply, and as you can see, it is processing now. See, you can see two audios, one without music and one with music. You can see that the audio is with music is labeled with this music icon. I will now rename this by clicking on this and rename this file. And by clicking outside, this name is now applied. As you can see, the total length is 42 seconds now. If you want, you can also download this file to share it by other platforms. But this is fine for me. So now what I'll do, I will add this to an episode by clicking on this plus icon. So let's click here. And now episode is available. Now I'll save the episode by clicking on save episode. So I have to give the episode title. Then I'll write some description here. After doing this, you have to set the publish date. So you can select any publish date, but I'll save now. You can also customize this episode by uploading new episode art, season number, episode type, what, and content. So this episode type is just a trailer. Content is clean. Episode number, I'll say 0. And season number is 1. And then also you can upload a new episode art. You can create this episode art with the help of canva.com. I will just upload. I'll select any image file right now and click on open. You can see this is here. You can zoom it, then crop it, but this is fine for me. I'll click on save. I can update it later anytime. After you are satisfied with your details, then you can click on publish now. So this episode is now published. So before your episode is published, you have to create a podcast. If we take an example of YouTube, before posting your video on YouTube, you need to have a channel. Similarly, before putting a file into a folder, you need to have a folder. Correct? Similarly, before publishing an episode, you need to define the structure of your podcast. Basically, name, description, which category, which language you are going to publish this podcast on. So this will be the podcast's name. Make sure that you are selecting correct podcast name. So I have already decided that the podcast name will be ET Mantra's e-learning podcast. And here I can write the description about the podcast. Then I'll select the category of the podcast. As you can see, there are many categories. So education seems fine to me. And then you have to select the language. I am going to publish my podcast in English. Let's click on continue now. Then you have to select a cover art for your podcast. You can search for photo or you can upload an image. If you want to maintain quality, you create your own image and then upload it. But right now, I just want to demonstrate it to you. I'll change the image later. I'll simply search for the photo. See, these are the covers. I'll select technology. So when I search for technology, I found these options. So I'll select one of this which seems perfect for video creation. It is looking fine. I will then reset it. And when I am satisfied with this, I will click on continue. Then you can also add text to it. So let's add a text. If you want to switch off the text, then you can click here, but I want to switch it on. When I am satisfied with my design, I'll click on update cover art. And as you can see, my podcast is now ready. And there is one episode in it. If I am happy with my current things, then I will click on yes, distribute my podcast. Or I'll click on not right now. It's up to you. So I think I have no problem. I can update my cover anytime later. So I'll say yes, distribute my podcast right now. Click here. And that's all from your part. Now you have a podcast and you have an episode in it. And you have also allow Anchor.fm to submit your podcast to various platforms. From now on, you just need to publish new episode by logging to Anchor.fm and click on new episode. You can also publish new episodes from mobile application of Anchor.fm. Once your episode is published, you can also embed this into your Google site or WordPress site by simply clicking on this copy embed link. The embed code is now copied. I can publish this embed code on my WordPress website by going to the page on WordPress website and clicking on edit page. And on this text box, I have to select the text, not the visual one. Click on text and then I can put the code here, the copied embed code here, and then go to visuals and click on update. Let's view the page now and see this is how it is looking. Users can listen to it by simply clicking on this play button. Welcome to ET Mantra's e-learning podcast. See, isn't it looking good? It has Anchor.fm icon, title of this episode, who is the author, previous and next audio icons. When you have multiple episodes, only then user can visit to previous or next audio. Now you can compare these two players. Isn't it looking good compared to this one? Now you are not utilizing your hosting space. And you also have this awesome audio player and your podcast is being sent to multiple platforms. Let's now come back to this Anchor. Here, let's go to our dashboard. On this dashboard, you will be able to see your podcast. Okay? And as you can see, we just published it 10 minutes back and still it is now available on 2 platforms. Let's see what are the platforms. It is available via this RSS feed and it's already available on Spotify. So right now also, if you have a Spotify application, you can search for this podcast. I'll show you here. So this is how this is looking on Spotify. Then there are some channels on which you can publish it manually. These are some advanced options. I will talk about it later in my videos. Let's again go back to dashboard. And as you can see, these 3 things are already done. You can now set up the monetization. So this is an advanced step. I'll talk about it later. And this is sharing your podcast into multiple social media things. So these things are optional. We can do it later anytime. Let's say if you want to edit this, then how will you edit it? Simply click on this edit icon. And again, you can change everything. So this is Anchor profile URL. I am not happy with this ET-mantra and I want to change it, so I will remove it. I'll put only ET mantra. And as you can see, this is available. If I put a generic name, for example, if I put Yogi, it may not be available. See, not available. but ET Mantra is available, so why will I select a complex name? So anybody who want to listen to my podcast, simply visit anchor.fm/ET Mantra. It seems fine. I can also give external website link here. So I will give my website link. It's my name. So I'll give my name here. And it is email address. And these are your connections to Twitter account, Instagram, YouTube account, Facebook account. So I will connect it later with Twitter, but I will connect it with YouTube right now and Facebook also. And now click on save. Similarly, I can also update this cover anytime. Now anyone can visit with anchor.fm/ET Mantra. Let's see how it looks on incognito. Anchor.fm/ET Mantra. See? This is how it is looking. Let's see if it has changed anything on this embedded audio, because I have changed the profile name. So I will Ctrl+Shift+R. This means refresh. See, it has not changed anything. It is working fine. So these were the settings about the podcast. These are the settings for the episodes. Simply click here, and from here you can see your episodes. When did you publish them, length, and how many plays has it happened. You can also copy public link to this episode, view episode details, download or delete this episode from here. Then there are some settings about your profile. You can select the distribution platform from here, and then you can update your setting from here. This will again go back to podcast settings. So let's come to anchor.fm.dashboard. Now if you want to publish a new episode, it will ask you all these options obviously. So let's select the episode from library. I already have this. I'm just adding it. Let's add this audio. I want to show you something. This is why I'm doing this. I'll not publish this. Let's click on save episode. We have to give the title and description. Publish date now. Asking season number, episode number, if it is full episode or trailer, if its content is clean or what. You can also upload art for each episode. Then let's click on publish now. And this time, as you can see, it does not ask for the podcast name, because you already have set up a podcast and all the episodes will be published in the same podcast itself. This is how you publish podcast with the help of Anchor.fm. I want to see your podcast if you are a teacher. If you have created a podcast or you are already running a podcast, please share the link with me in the comment section of this video. If you know a teacher who don't have a podcast, please share this video with him or her. I want to see every teacher using this platform to connect with their students. It's not required to have a high-speed internet in order to run their podcast. You know the beauty of podcasts, the limitations are less and possibilities are endless. Now I believe you will start your podcast if you don't have any. And now I'll see you in my next video. Namaste.